Hello. Thanks for tuning in, listening, just for being you over there, doing what you're doing and pushing through all the weird human stuff that we're all learning about and figuring out how to navigate and best exist and just be. Simplify is kind of where maybe, at least where I'm coming into condensing all of these things that I've kind of gone far out into wanting to understand and seeking answers and understanding of different kinds, and then coming back full circle into myself and integrating these thoughts. But really, it's kind of on the most simple level. Well, how does one maintain a good life, or a feeling of feeling content and happy, and to be able to give and offer and be of service to the world, and not just be self-serving, because our lives are not just our own. They are connected to everyone else and everything else, whether we realize it or not. Everything we do ripples out and affects something, somewhere, someone, somewhere else. And so to be able to bring about the most to ourselves and to, therefore, the world is my focus and work. And maybe that's not everybody's work, but I feel we could all benefit from that if we could all be less self-serving and take care of ourselves and nourish ourselves and do what feels good for ourselves, which and then is giving back to others, but not purely just out of own self-gain. How can I give to myself while simultaneously giving to others? And that's where I feel is like crucial thing for humans to learn, because what we give to others, we actually give to ourselves as well. It feels so good to know that we're able to, at least for me, it feels good to know that I can offer someone comfort and safety and peace and happiness and joy just through being in a certain state and being present and holding space for that person to be themselves without judgment or and it's an energy when it comes down to it. Like, what energy am I holding, and what am I projecting out? What am I receiving? And just having, like, being in that central neutral place as much as possible, receptive, and also giving, sharing. These are some things that I've been really thinking on, and so yeah, there's so many complexities and layers to everything, everyone, but on a simple grounded level, bringing it back into self and other, and our connection to ourselves and to others, to the all the life around us, and to that, humans, and to all that. So I'm feeling, in this moment, I feel content and present. I've been wrestling with a lot of not content, pleasant, peaceful feelings the past 48 hours, 24 hours. Yesterday I worked through some intense anger, lots of rage, fire, and lots of fire came up for me, and I wanted to just burn some things down, and not in a destructive, purposeless way, but in a way that is constructive, and to burn and clear out things, it makes room for new things. And actually, in forest, forgetting the term, where indigenous peoples would clear out the land, and then it would build resilience and the diversity of life, and in the soil even, it would help nourish the whatever that process does. It does something beneficial to the ecosystem, and is a natural part of things. And controlled burns. There we go. Controlled burns. So yeah, I was just feeling this rage and this anger, and realizing I can't suppress and contain this. I have to honor it. It is valid, and I have to get it out, let it move through me, and having medium to process this anger constructively. I worked through some things in my body, and just shook some things out, and danced, and air punched, just got into just kind of It was good. It was good, and I felt a lot more clear and grounded afterwards. And then last night I went rollerblading out at a skate place for like 5 hours straight. I was rolling around in circles, and not only was I skating, but I for the first time was like integrating dance with the skating. I haven't skated as much as I would like to, but it's something that, or the past few years, like I every once in a while I'll get my skates out and go to the park. But skating in a rink is a lot different because it's actually smooth ground, so there's more fluidity there. And oh, it's like the best feeling. It is my like I realized last night, I'm like, this is like one of my happiest places I've ever been. I also smoked cannabis for the first time in 2 months because I've been taking a break. I wanted to clear my system out and just reset in my, without something external that I had been, I don't say dependent on, but it was just a habitual thing. So I was like, okay, let's redefine this relationship. And it was offered to me. I was like, this feels right. Let's do this. So I did, and I felt amazing. I was like on cloud 9. Like I was already happy skating, and then it was like, oh, like this is heaven. And then I, was more in tune with my body. Whenever I smoke, I feel much more intensely in my physical body. And so I could just sense my own internal world, and I was very much more perceptive of the things around me as well. And there's a lot going on, but I realized like the movement and momentum of gliding on I have blades, not quads. I like the blades because I can move faster and just hit those turns like on that just like, ooh, the feeling is like, if you haven't ever experienced it, is, I guess I described it, but it is something that like, naturally it's not like an easy thing to just be on wheels. And so if it's kind of frustrating at first getting good at it, but once you do, and that's with anything, I guess, at first, if it's getting to be familiar with it and getting to know how to do it is frustrating process. But once you get in that flow and you know how to do it, it's like the most liberating, freeing experience of like, I can do this. Like I did this, I built myself up to do this. And oh, I haven't felt that in so long, and I feel like I have a thing now again. Like I've been feeling a lack of inspiration lately. Like words have been a big outlet for me, and at this point I feel like I've written all the words that I can for now. And even painting, I occasionally I'll get my colors out and just move things around, and that's always a happy place for me. But in my physical body, and then dancing is one of my main outlets, and then rollerblading has always been separate. But like to put the two together with people, like, and able to socialize too, and I haven't gone out and socialized in a while, and just like been just be me and just go interact with other people. Oh, it was so good, and I feel very rejuvenated and refreshed, and so happy that I had that experience. Just being very in tune with my body and moving through it, keep going, and then just even that whole like cyclical pattern. It's like repetitive, but each time I come around is different. I'm like each cycle that I've gone through, like I've already experienced, but then at each movement and each time that I'm going through is different than the other time. And it's also fun too, because like for a moment you can link up with someone and talk, and then you keep skating. And so when it comes to socializing too, it's for anyone who has like anxiety, like social anxiety or anything, it's like you can just kind of slide away from it and then come back to it. Like there's no, like, it doesn't feel as I don't know, when you're standing around, there's nowhere to go. It's like you can be like, that anxiety can build, but when you can keep moving your body through things, it's like, that's it. That's some good stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to share that and just, remind you to do things that you love and maybe haven't done in a while. And maybe there's that insecurity that like, oh, I'm not good at it, or I'm not, and it doesn't need to be like you're just good at it. Like it's something that does take time to get good at. Anything, like, it's a muscle memory thing, and it takes practice and it takes time, and it's such a rewarding feeling when you can dedicate yourself towards something, and then it takes time, and that's a rewarding thing. And that's something that I sometimes am very much in, like that instant gratification where I just want something. If I'm not good at it right away, it can be like, oh, this is frustrating. So to be able to stick to something and do it, yeah, it's a very good feeling that I highly recommend. Whatever way you can, strengthen some muscle of creation or expression or working out or dancing or rollerblading or whatever it is, boxing, sparring, martial arts. I mean, there's so many ways to like be in the body and express and learn and do whatever. So I just wanted to remind you of the importance of that, because that keeps us sane and feeling like there's purpose and meaning amidst just really disorienting, weird world that we're all in right now. And it's not like this is new. I mean, it's always been pretty weird. But I think with technology, there's a hyper awareness of how weird things are, and even like a like degree of like manipulation over our minds of like what we see and are aware of, and not everything that we witness on our phones or screens or, you know, is true. So it's like discernment on like what is relevant to my life and what is real to me. What am I choosing to believe? You know, a lot of the things that are out there are part truths maybe, and are not like the whole picture, the whole truth. So, yeah. So, you know, defining our own reality. And for me, like, having core like values, like words that I kind of go back to, but I'm like, okay, focus, like presence, peace, patience, like compassion, like, you know, just, yeah, flow, being in a state of flow, security in myself and feeling safety. You know, how do I create safety in myself and in my environment? And balance is a good thing. There's and the waters, you know, just the elements for me, that brings me a grounded state of awareness, is like, you know, imagining the elements, which there are many. There aren't just the four main ones, but those are like earth, air, fire, water, you know. And that's what, when I turn it, it's like me bended, but it, yeah, okay, so that's very, like, close to home for me. That's something that I am always aware of, and the unseen, and that's where, you know, so I guess I can go into this tattoo. Well, I have you here because this is a huge thing of intention that's, like, on my body that I see all the time. That was, like, something I was like, okay, lock this in, lock and load, here we go, like, keep it in your brain, in your spirit. So earth and air were the first elements that I got at the same time. And for me, it was a very intentional act of honoring my connection to the earth and the groundedness I find like in my connection to the earth and in nature, and also this air realm. And for me, I looked at that as like the spirit realm, this unseen realm, you know, that we cannot see. And it's hard to define because it's invisible, but you can feel it. And so being like a bridge between a grounded, rooted place on this planet, and also knowing that there's so much beyond what I can even describe or fully understand, and finding that place in the middle between the two. And so I had that for a while, just those two elements, and just kind of meditated on that. And that was the beginning. And then I was calling in fire and water for some time, and really like meditating on those elements. And then I added on those two, and yes. And then I also have a circle over here, which is you know what a circle looks like. It's right here. And then to wrap in like with the elements, and then this circle, which to me was a form of like a marriage ceremony to myself as an individual. It was like me as this whole circle, like I am whole. And like even like a ring, you know, if someone, like this also was the same thing for me. I was like, okay, these are my like things for myself, for my connection to myself. And but yeah, ring is a circle, like a 3D circle, and you stick on your finger. And so yeah, that's a similar thing. And also representing the wholeness of me as an individual, and also how I'm a part of a larger circle beyond me. Like I'm a piece of this bigger circle. So both things. And then also representing the spirit. So we have the elements of earth, air, fire, water, and then the circle would represent like the spirit. And I know the air kind of to me already represented like the spiritual realms, but physically, literally, it is just not just air, but then you have another layer here of the spirit. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, because that's a big part of, you know, things that I'm very just wanting to be aware of and embody and share with others. And so, Yeah. Well, this is getting a little long for now. I think I'll close this up and come back around to touching on, I don't know, whatever, just talking, just being, doing, living, thinking, feeling, transmuting, alchemizing, whatever else you want to add to that, whatever you're doing over there. It's a good thing to think about and have intention. And for me, like writing lists and just having like what is it what am I calling in? What am I envisioning? What is my intention? And writing it down is very important. And I guess I feel called to read you this kind of intention that I just recently put down, that it's like, okay, this is what it is for me. So balance between all things, harmony, a beautiful dance, a hymn, beauty, peace, joy, laughter, connection, co-creation, community, synergy, preservation, evolution, expansion. I could add a lot of things on there, but that's just what I had. And I like this book because we've got our dragon friends. And okay, so on that note, I will read you something from my book that the dragons, I felt like it's time. We called okay. So this is like a visualization of these two very distinctly different energies that I see dancing together. And in general in life, I feel like there is this dance between two very distinctly different things, and more than two. There's many things going on, but if we go back to the beginning, there's nothing, there's zero, and then there'd be one. There's one whole thing, and then the one was broken into two. Then from two, there was three, and then the four, and the five, and it just keeps expanding out from that point. But yeah, if we go back, it's the two that are dancing. So, two dragons. And here's, it's good. Is it going to be flipped for the video? I wonder if because for me it looks backwards, but I think it flips it. But L words, which I thought was like the simplest way, because these are words that I wrote. And my pen name, my artist name is L. So these are some L words. And then there's, at the very end, you might be surprised with a poem called L words that might just be like a bunch of L words, specifically starting with L or EL, because that's also like an L. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But you have to read it to get to the end. I'm not going to share that one, so there's a link in my bio and out there somewhere it's in there on my link tree. So, okay. Two dragons, black and gold, dense, heavy. He finds comfort in darkness, hidden from sight, with armor made of thick metal scales, refined over time. He breathes fire, melting and turning substance into nothing, combusting and then rising out of the ashes. Death, his lifelong friend, beginning again after every end. Pink and silver, feathered, flying without wings. White light, white flame, vulnerable yet protected, without defenses. All she sees and touches turns to green, life. An alchemist and shapeshifter, never dying, always birthing. The chase and war ends when they see, face to face and embrace, dancing in a spiral up and up, in union, balance, harmony, now and forevermore. I just love that visualization of them, and that just came to me, and I wanted to, document that vision. So, this book is a mixture of different moments, thoughts, visions, feelings, dreams, things that my processings from the past, like about 6-7 months. This is more recent writings. I have another book that is my first book that I will actually share after this book, though, But it's been an accumulation of 4 years of writings that I'm feeling like I want to share after I share this newest book, which feels like my most recent self, and my, where I am at now, and I want to share that first and foremost. And then for anyone who feels resonant with that, for them, if they want to go into the depths of my other book, which is about 3 times as long and a lot more time, and a lot more layers and things going on in that book. And that book I have here too. And I think I might change the cover a little bit. I like to just keep things simple, minimal, but I think I might format the words in the middle like this one instead of, I don't know, but I kind of like this too because you have like the title, but then this would make you think that the author would be I or one, but I just didn't put my name on the front. I have it inside, but so I'm signing it as a cursive L. That is my signature pen name. But yeah, so this might change a little bit, but for anyone feeling like they want to read this or feel called to, please reach out. I will have the links for both of them. Well, this one is available to everyone. I haven't shared this one yet. I'm going to do like a book release for this, and so I'm keeping this more on the low. But anyone who feels called to it, I will share with now. I'm just not like opening it fully to everybody. But this book is available to everybody, and I do prefer people read this first and then to get into this big chunky, like fuller, more there. But so I'm wanting to share more of my words and my books and just show up continually and getting consistent in this. It's definitely, just gotta follow through, and so I'm gonna do that. And thank you for listening. And I think that's what I got for now. And that's what I got. So I'm gonna move forward in my day and do what I need to do and other things. And I hope that your day moves with as much ease and peace and fluidity and flow and beauty, joy, happiness, all those good things. The energy is contagious, ripples out, impacts others who need it. We really need it. There's a lot going on in this world, and we all could use a little more loving, a little more tenderness, a little more care, a lot more actually. We could use as much of it as we can get. So we got to share it, and so keep it up. We're in this together. Thanks for being here, and reach out if you feel called to, or like I said, I've got the links to these books, and I'm here as an ally on this mission of whatever, just big expansion, evolution. We're doing it, so we get to choose, make it what we want it to be. So, all right, take care.